Welcome to the VMJPod's Employer Brand Series. I'm David Macciocca, and this time I'm joined by co-host Will Innes. Together, we'll dive into the strategies and stories emerging from Brisbane, with lessons that help you build credibility, scale impact, and deliver results.
Oh, welcome to VMJPod Series, where we're unpacking employer brand. I'm David Macciocca.
I'm Will Innes, and we're here with Alexia Ellmers. Hi, Alexia. How are you?
I am very good. Happy to be here.
Fantastic. Do you want to introduce yourself really quickly? What's your role and who do you work for?
Sure. So I have spent the last decade in talent acquisition. So my sweet spot is really working for kind of technology startups and scale-ups, which has led me to where I'm at now, which is Go1. So my official role is employer branding and talent manager. So essentially I spend my days recruiting the best talent, but also looking after our global employer brand.
Cool. And you've been with the company for a while now. You've done some pretty interesting things. One of the topics that we're going to be unpacking is advocacy, building an advocacy program. Mm-hmm. Firstly, how long have you been with Go1? And I'd love to hear a little bit more about the advocacy program that you built.
Amazing. Well, I guess if we rewind all the way back, I joined during Go1's kind of hypergrowth phase. So the TLDR version for people who don't know Go1, we are a edtech, Brizzy founded tech unicorn. So we're one of Brisbane's only unicorns. We're very, very proud of that.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's big for Brizzy.
It's
big. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And I think to be working for a SaaS company that's made it to the stage that we're at, there's very few within Australia. So I was really excited to join, and I kind of joined at the most, I guess, chaotic time. We had these huge hiring plans. We had expanded into different regions globally, and really the goal was higher. And I joined as a talent partner. So really quickly on, I kind of identified that we had a workforce of really engaged people, and naturally they were very kind of social media savvy. So they were just sharing stuff on their own LinkedIn profiles just because they wanted to.
They would have been proud that they joined such a wonderful company.
Yeah, as was I. So I resonate. Previously, I've worked for kind of tech consultancy companies, so very different kind of vibe. It was almost like, you were met with resistance every time that you were trying to encourage employees to share content on social media. It was just a different generation, but also different kind of workforce dynamic. So when I joined Go1, I identified there was a huge opportunity. Outside of Australia, people didn't know who we were. So when I was speaking to candidates kind of in the US or Europe, the main barrier was that they didn't know who we were. We didn't have brand advocacy. So they felt a little bit, I guess, risk adverse to join this tech startup that they've never heard of, right? Why would they leave their job at a really great company to work for us when they don't know who we are, literally? So I pitched to my manager at the time I don't even think I was in my role now in employer branding. The audacity of me. I pitched to create an advocacy program internally. And that's kind of where it all started.
How did you identify the opportunity in the first place?
I think everything was aligned in terms of we had some EVP framework existing in place. I was seeing a really engaged culture at Go1. I was also seeing people naturally just posting on LinkedIn. And then we also had, these very aggressive hiring targets, but low brand advocacy. So I was like, tick, tick, tick. Everything is in place to kind of start an advocacy program. How to do it? Not yet worked out. But I did a lot of research and then pitched it to my boss. Yeah. It all kind of started from there.
So you weren't an employer brander at that stage? You were doing more recruitment? Is that what I'm picking up on?
Yes, I was outside of
this pull to sort of gravitate towards.
I did. And I think it stemmed from as a recruiter, I realized having kind of sharp recruitment skills alone is not enough in a really competitive market. I knew the game changer was kind of attracting people to Go1. providing a really solid candidate experience and winning candidates that way.
Yep.
Because we didn't have the brand advocacy, I was like, how do we kind of leverage everything else that we can to be an employer of choice? So I doubled down on kind of recruitment marketing outside of my normal job as a recruiter, and then it naturally kind of flowed from there. And then it wasn't until a bit later on it became kind of an official part of my job.
So how did you, for anyone who is out there considering an advocacy program and needing to have an alliance with their hiring manager, sort of pitch it, what were a few of the things that you remember communicating to your manager to try and get it over the line?
Yeah, it was really around, commercial, because we knew the cost of hiring and, agency fees could be mitigated if we had more brand advocacy in the regions that people didn't really know us. So that was one thing, is linking it to, I guess, cost-saving commercial outcomes for the business. The second thing was a real chance to inspire and engage existing employees. We knew that they wanted to build their personal brand, so it was a win-win. We felt like we could further engage and retain people through an advocacy program. And then the third thing, I guess, was also the engagement metrics that we were able to prove, such as reach and engagement. The content that was shared from our employees was getting kind of 500% more reach than the company shared from the Go1
That's incredible.
LinkedIn page. Yeah.
That's really good. So what's in it for the participants to jump on board was personal branding.
Yeah.
And did you do anything to emphasize personal brand to win them into the advocacy program?
Yeah, we did. So we did a basic call out on our internal Slack channel and just said, hey guys, we are going to be launching the first kind of Go1 advocacy program. We did a short summary of what would be involved. But essentially we said for those who are looking to become a thought leader or boost their employer brand, their personal brand, it would be a really good opportunity. So we put it out there. We had a lot of people apply, which meant that we could be a little bit selective with who we decided to go forward with.
Were you surprised with how many people?
Yeah, yes and no. I think, like I said, people were really, really engaged. And bear in mind, we were kind of in that hypergrowth phase. So we had a lot of new people joining all the time.
Okay.
And this was kind of 22, 23. And I think everyone had that idea of what a personal brand could be, but they wanted to work on it. They didn't necessarily have the tools or the mentorship to actually kind of do it. And also people, as we know, are really scared to post on LinkedIn. They need a bit of a, push and some encouragement. So we got LinkedIn to come in and run a launch day with us. So essentially we had decided on the people that we were going to move forward with the program, and we created hype around this day. So we were
clever, isn't it?
You think?
Yeah, very. I think so.
Creating hype.
Well, yeah, getting someone like LinkedIn to come in and talk about personal branding and what it means to them.
Yeah, it is. I'm interested that that's the most compelling thing for people, that it's their personal brand. I wondered, was there other reasons that people did it, whether conscious or subconscious, right? But do you think it is about personal brand, or a genuine pride in working for the business, the quality of the work? They almost want to sort of show it off. I know we're sort of speculating, but do you think there's other reasons people do it?
I think, I
if
would
you tie it to performance bonus, I think they might do it.
Well, yeah, right. So you can incentivize it. But I mean, is it in the
Or
drivers
swag.
behind it?
Cool swag
what
over
can
at
what
Go1?
can other people tap into when they're thinking about, launching these programs? Is how to get people on board. These things, there's always some psychology involved.
Yeah. Well, I think that exclusivity piece was probably a driver as well, because we knew we wanted to start with a X amount of people as a pilot program, so we couldn't choose everyone.
Okay.
So I think being part of this kind of exclusive club was a draw card. Obviously pride in work, and they were proud to work for Go1, which was a huge driver as well. And then also the personal branding was like what they were getting out of it in return, I think. We did introduce some gamification as well as part of the program, which they didn't know at that like initial phase.
Do you think that helped?
I think so. I think it was more so a motivator because, and we'll probably get to this, launching and running an advocacy program is a lot of heavy lifting over like that period, which in my opinion, I don't think it should be an always on program. I think it should almost be run in like sprints, depending on what your hiring goals are.
Yep. When you were curating the list, there were probably a few people that you tapped on the shoulder because you're a recruiter and sort of knew the lay of the land. But then in terms of having the right balance, what are a few of the things that companies who are considering an ambassador program should be considering?
Yeah, and that's important because I think you want the most diverse group possible in terms of, tenure, levels inside the org, different role types, ages, demographics, all of that stuff is important. Yeah, for sure. So I think you do need to be a bit intentional about that up front. But outside of that, we went to their managers and said, like, what is your feedback on this person, right? Yeah. Like, is there any red flags that we should be aware of? Yeah. So we got the sign off from their leader and then did a few kind of checks throughout the process just to make sure that they were going to represent our brand in the right way. We also did a bit of an audit of their LinkedIn just to make sure, there was nothing problematic, that they showed up well. And as part of that launch day, we also did some basics on, LinkedIn and did a basic glow up plan.
And did you want to track the results? Was that part of it? It's like being part of the program. Yeah. This is your commitment. What was the commitment?
So the commitment initially was that you would post once a fortnight, and then with the plans to kind of ramp up from there once they became more comfortable with it. We also created a welcome pack for them, which outlined kind of what their commitment was, what we would provide to them. We created a Slack channel, which was the advocacy group. We would put content into that channel so that they could simply just repost. And every week we would post prompt ideas as well. So idea was to make it as easy as possible for them to get involved, which I think definitely helped. We weren't just okay, launch day, great, you're an advocate now, go post. Because I think that would have been really overwhelming. So yeah, it was a seamless kind of transition, I think.
So you've touched upon kind of governance and control.
Rigor.
Yeah, I don't want to be the boring one, but
you surely not.
No, I love it. I got a collared shirt on. I'm going to be boring. So yeah, because I was interested. Even when you were sort of pitching the idea of a program, quite often the resistance is risk. What if someone says this?
Cool tech company.
Yeah, but there's some learnings in it. So I'm interested if, did that happen for this cool tech company? Did you get the what if questions, and did you have to be quite rigorous about the governance or escalation process if things go wrong? Again, just thinking pointers, learnings for other folks.
Yeah, and it is, I guess, a balancing act because, and to answer your question, yes, we did think of all of those things. And we also looped in our social media manager. She did a quick brands guidelines session at that launch day.
Yeah, 100%.
But in saying that, we also didn't want to control it to the point where people were apprehensive to post. Because I think there's already so many barriers just to get people involved. And the session that we did with LinkedIn actually showed the more kind of vulnerable personal posts are the ones that naturally people get the most engagement with because humans connect with humans.
Yeah, it's quite a quandary, isn't it? That balance.
So it's you want to show up online as yourself and as showing authenticity, but also it is a company that you're representing at the same time. It's not your personal Facebook page or, Instagram. So yeah, it is a fine balance.
Anyone go rogue or? No one went rogue.
No one went rogue, actually. Yeah. So I don't have experience in having to manage that conversation because I think it would be very awkward, wouldn't it?
All the EB managers I know that have run advocacy programs, no one really goes rogue.
No, and I think the vetting process is important, right? Because we did the audit of their LinkedIn. We knew, that there wasn't anything, super problematic. And we know these people, right?
Yeah.
Like, we work with them,
Trust
we're close to them, we trust them, and it's a two-way,
you
trust.
hear the sort of sensible rule is something like, don't post something that you wouldn't be prepared to show to your grandma or something, right? Like, don't really, but that doesn't fly with head of corporate affairs at a bank, but it works in a smaller organization. But I wonder, are there any simple rules that you think would cross over quite well, or any guides that you'd give about how to tread that balance between safety, authenticity, stuff that's good for the brand? And any sort of just key learnings or sayings?
My key rule was really like, if you are ever apprehensive about posting something, run it past us first and we'll give you like a thumbs up or maybe stay away.
People know.
Yeah, and I always think if you feel weird about posting something, you probably shouldn't, because I guess internally, if you're feeling weird about it, is it authentic to you? Because something's probably, you're getting a gut feel that it's not quite right for the platform that you're posting on.
Yeah. It sounds like you had quite a bit of control because you were actually sharing the content you wanted them to share.
Yeah.
Whereas some employer branders are going, just come out of an EVP and I've done an EVP and you are fantastic and I've got this quote card. Can you share this quote card from yourself and put, or, you've got this video of this person.
Yeah,
this
there's
is
something
your
very
content,
transactional about
go
that.
for it.
Yeah.
I know from say a marketing comms perspective and the consumer, where they're very consumer brand led, they're trying to generate sales. So that advocacy program usually is gated by, hey, this is the content. We're going to change the cover around a little bit or the thumbnail, but these are the words that you want. But from an employee brand perspective, were you encouraging them to tell their own story, whether it be in words or like an image, or did you feel like you had to really spoon-fed them on everything?
We did encourage, although the reality was the spoon-fed approach was probably a little bit easier.
Okay.
But 100% we encourage. We would give prompts like, tell us about your like customer win of the week.
Yeah.
The reality of it though is people still don't feel super confident to create their own content. So the content that we provided was like an easy win. We always would encourage like put your own spin on it so that not everyone in this group is going to be posting exactly the same thing, But that's what kind of worked for us in the end.
This episode is brought to you by Video My Job, introducing the fastest way to turn employee stories into multi-channel content. One video now instantly becomes branded blogs, quote cards, social posts, and more, all perfectly formatted for the channels you use to attract and engage talent. And the best part, zero editing required. Record once, repurpose everywhere. Book your demo at videomyjob.com and experience the new era of employee content creation.
Were there any tricks or tips you can share to? Did you run a comp? Did you try to encourage? Did you try to fuel the engagement a little bit more? And if you did, what was there anything that you can share?
Yeah, sure. So what worked for us is a bit of gamification. So we would put a voucher up for grabs for the best post of, I think it was the fortnight.
How do you judge the best post?
So that is a very good question. The criteria was very
Some good
vast.
questions every now and then. No, will
So the criteria was essentially set by me, and it was like either the most engagement, the most creative post, or it was like the group chooses someone else, like their
Sort of
pair.
votes,
Yeah.
Nice.
So we put like an Amazon voucher up for grabs, and
like small amount.
yeah, like we're talking like $50 a fortnight.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just a nice
enough
symbol.
to be like a cool little prize, but not like breaking the bank, So we found that worked really well. And yeah, I guess the biggest learning I would probably have from the pilot program was that it should be run in sprints, because it's very hard to keep up engagement and momentum for an advocacy program for a long-term period.
Okay, so can you, for those who don't know what a sprint is and the duration that you're thinking a sprint, do you mind if you just explain that?
I would say it's probably good to have it run an advocacy program in maybe like a 6-month project.
Okay.
Because so much happens within an organisation, right? And it's not always a good idea to have an advocacy program turned on, in my opinion. Like, for example, my biggest learning at Go1 was we ended up, so we went through a hypergrowth phase. We acquired 3 companies over a 3-year period. And then everything started kind of happening within the SaaS world. We're talking like, redundancies. And we weren't immune to, those headwinds of macroeconomic factors. So we went through kind of internal layoffs, and that was not the time to be running an advocacy program.
Yeah.
The tone, like the temperature of the room was, we're going through some hard times right now, both like externally within the industry and also internally at Go1. Maybe it's time to pull back on that, because really at the end of the day, you're wanting employees to advocate that this is a great place to work. And when there is some like internal turmoil happening, which is inevitable in any organization, it's probably time to push pause, and then kick it off again once you're in like a hiring phase. Because when you're also making layoffs, probably not hiring. So you need to learn when to
That's a really interesting dynamic. Sorry, do you mind if I go?
Yeah, of course.
So that's really, does that mean that advocacy programs can only run when things are good in the business and people feel proud of the company they're working at?
Probably controversial.
It's an interesting thought. It's actually a thought experiment. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I'm thinking it myself. I'm like thinking it, does that mean that advocacy, because at the minute, so many organizations are going to be going through transformation, clearly redundancies through tech that's coming to the business. Does that put real squeeze on advocacy programs? I think it's an interesting thought. It's quite a challenging question.
Well, I went for internal. I thought there's still stories that are really important to share internally and through advocacy, because there's still things that are happening internally. Just because there might be some redundancies, there will be role changes. There's still promotions. Let's not forget people's roles change. How did their role change? And if it's not just about attraction, that it could be for internal mobility, it could just be
like I could absolutely see your point around sprints. I think that would really make sense for certain campaigns and certain hiring that you would have influence around that. I just wonder if you could scale that thinking into thinking about like internal. There's all the mobility piece, like reskilling is a big thing right now in organizations. So how you can draw attention to that. And I wonder whether there's a discussion about thinking about, advocates suggest you have to promote in a positive way. If there's something in there around, internal, seeing these people that have relationships and a certain amount of influence within a business might be around dimensions of culture, like onboarding those 3 acquisitions that your company's made. How could you use internal storytelling to bring that culture to life? And I wondered if maybe that's sort of phase 2, 3, 4 of what the program could look like at Go1 or something like that. So is it worth thinking about what's ahead for the program and how it may evolve in time to come?
Yeah, and I think that's a good call, because I think employer branding is quite cyclical in nature. So since we paused the advocacy program, we've then done another EVP refresh internally. So that was led by myself and my team. And instead of, I guess, focusing our efforts externally, e.g. advocacy program, we've really turned it internally.
Lovely.
There you go.
To re-establish culture after the mergers. Obviously bringing together 3 companies is tough. There's a lot of, different kind of culture that each company brings. And so we've really laid the foundations. Again, we've got our EVP. Now we're probably at a point where we're ready to kind of activate it again. and maybe we'll start, and
interesting.
relaunch the advocacy program. So
take all those learnings and think about how you can mature that.
Yeah,
exactly.
fascinating.
Yeah, great.
What do you think the biggest mistake people could make if they were doing an advocacy for the first time? Where's the potholes?
Avoid the bear trap. How do you avoid the bear trap?
Are there a couple? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Okay, red flags. I would say one red flag to watch out for would be having those really strict guidelines around what people can and can't post.
Yep.
I would say another one is engagement within your culture. If your engagement scores are really low, now is not the time to be launching an advocacy program. It's time to really work on creating an epic culture that people should be proud of. I guess another red flag, if you do have significant organizational change happening, like layoffs or mergers and acquisitions, as we just touched on.
Timing's not right.
Timing's not right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you went through the advocacy program. I think we covered a lot of the advocacy program and what we've done. So did it work? Did it actually produce the results that you initially went to your manager, with the business case? Touched on a couple of things: attraction. I'm assuming referrals.
Yeah.
What were the outcomes?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think it did achieve what we set out to achieve in terms of brand advocacy in regions that Go1 was not well known. So we did get some really good traction, and that was measured by, application numbers, referrals, but also like a few vanity metrics, like growing our LinkedIn account. We had some really great engagement from specific posts that were generated through that program. So I think, long story short, yes. But as we discussed, like if we were to go round 2, there would definitely be some learnings that I would be implementing.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, out of all the sort of the content and channels that came into play whilst you were doing this program, what trends did you see about specific content or channels that really were successful for you? Was there a specific type of content? Was there any themes? Or what did you learn about that may help others?
Yeah, good question. So type of content, it was definitely the more personal content, the storytelling that was brought into it, the, here's what I have learnt, or a customer call that went wrong, or, those more, authentic kind of personal stories that people can share that cut through. What worked well for us as well that I probably haven't talked about is whenever people would post, they would also post their URL link into the Slack channel. And so everyone else in the group would comment and like on their post. So that would give like a boost of engagement that really helped with kind of organic reach. So, and it also took the nerves away from posting for people, because I think that's one of the barriers is people are like, I don't want no one to like my post.
Absolutely right.
Right? Like, I think that's why people don't, because I'm thinking...
It's fear of not getting any responses and being embarrassed by that, frankly, isn't it? It is.
Putting yourself out there and being almost rejected online. I think that's why people
100%.
don't.
Yeah, I think it is a big play.
How often do they really feel rejected after they do get likes and comments? Because they all get likes and comments, don't they? They feel good about it. I believe, I see it from our end. Yeah. It is a bit of a relief when they see someone like or comment.
I think you need to get over a certain hump. I mean, I have a WhatsApp group with my friends from university, and that was a long time ago. And when I post a video, guaranteed I get some stick.
Good.
Because it's like, Will, you look ridiculous. What are you talking about? Like, I will get abuse for this on that WhatsApp channel. But at some point you have to go, I don't care anymore. And we all have to do it. It's just the way of the world. But there is a hump you have to get over and a comfort, I think.
Well,
and some people are more affected by that than others.
Yeah, it is very different to your own personal brand. It's not like you're on Facebook and you can sort of post, I don't have a Facebook account, but your own personal account, Instagram, whatever you're using.
So it's your personal work brand.
And it's different. It's like you want to, and in different countries as well, they do think the culture is very different. and I do know that firsthand. Like, they're very reluctant. They do want to please their boss. They want to be able to please
And not do it
the
wrong.
person they're reporting into. So any comfort you can give them initially, like the guardrails that we spoke about, is such an advantage for them to make them feel comfortable, going that extra step, getting a vendor in like a LinkedIn to talk about personal branding and the safety of it, and then creating this community of internal sponsors who are getting right behind the content. That's a wonderful feeling.
It's a softer landing.
It's a soft landing, and I'm sure, I'm sure people who they used to work with liked it and commented it, and even the grandma or the mum or the cousin.
Yeah, they like to see you on camera and things. It's fun.
And that's all part of changing the narrative of who Go1 are, or anyone who's working within the business. There's perceptions of businesses that are out there. If you work for a bank or an accounting firm or a consulting company, it comes with the stigma. And I'm assuming this strategy of advocacy is to humanize the workplace and share what it's really like to work within the company.
Yeah, because really, I mean, there's so many amazing things that happen every single day at Go1. And when I first joined, I'm like, we are so humble, but almost to our own detriment. Yeah, because I'm like, we're not sharing all of these great things that happen just, on a day-to-day basis. So I think it's about amplifying the great stuff that really happens in a way that resonates with, the talent that you're looking to actually employ.
Yep, nice. Any final questions, Will? I feel like we could talk about this for quite some time.
We could. Oh, we could.
What's your last
one question. What's your big push for Go1? Like, whether it's a certain ambition, like a target you're hitting, or a certain piece of your EVP that you're really trying to highlight in the next 12 months? Like, what's a compelling goal that you've got at the moment for your advocacy?
Yeah, so our goal really right now is talent density. So because we are not hiring as many people as what we were previously, we have a big focus on, those 10Xs, the people that are really going to move the needle within an organization. How to find them? Good question.
Yeah, interesting.
Advocacy. Plant some seeds early. That's what I think. A-grade talent.
So that's going to play a big role in how you find these 10Xs.
I think so.
Yeah, nice.
Along with a lot of other things that we're also, running at the same time. But yeah, that would be the goal right now, along with still brand advocacy in other regions outside of Australia.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I feel like I've learnt a few things in this episode.
Always learn something speaking to Alexia. It's good.
Yeah,
Same.
Really appreciate you coming in and sharing your story.
Is that all the questions we have?
That's it.
Oh, that was easier than
It's
what I
too easy,
thought.
right?